So, fascinatingly, the game would actually freeze on me when trying to actually load in the rest of the way. So that was fun. I just kind of cut that out from the previous video. The part where it took me 30 seconds of commentary to realize it had been sitting at the same percentage of loading for that long. And I was like, oh, good. There's nothing. Good. Precisely what I had in mind. So anyway, with that blunder out of the way, well, you see part of it, but let's see how the starting grid lines up for the last round of Universe Zero. Well, we couldn't have asked for it better than this, could we? With the exception of Shadow and me in the way, nothing will stop this battle from going down. However, even if Blossom wins, Burn still wins the championship by 3 points. Burn would have to probably crash, because I don't really foresee anyone like Danny, Alex, or Sonic passing him and staying ahead for 3 laps around the longest track we do besides the Nordschleife. Why are we in this camera angle? Hello? Also headlights. Drake, Group A front row. And Blossom just kind of creates her own lane to get around to me. Well, Alex almost got around Burn initially, but even if he had, I don't think he'd have stayed ahead for long. I just cannot choose a lane, I guess. Also, Bubbles gains many places before we even get to a corner. Sonic doesn't like that, and decides to force his way past her. Sonic. Yes. Well, Sonic the Powerpuff Girl. Blossom. No, it's not Sonic. Ah! Blossom. He's my favorite. How did I keep messing this up? Blossom is running away as best as she possibly can. How many times have I... Ah! Technical difficulties. Mental difficulties. I hit Blossom's name like 4 separate times, thinking it was Burn or someone else to change the camera to. Is not. No. I don't know how the engine took that as well as it did at all. I don't know how that doesn't wreck more engines or cars. Period. Okay, I think I'm done having spasm attacks of the English-speaking variety. Shadow just Tokyo drifts to the outside of Alex there. Oh my god. I was like so upset with myself because like, you know, you finally get back into the flow of commentary and then just that. Just that happens. I felt I got chills, and I think that might just because of the basement, but I'm gonna play it off like it's because of the fact that this is like such a big race, because even though this isn't for the championship, the fact that they are going to fight in the last race for, well, preferably the championship. Burn will still win anyway, unless Bubbles and Buttercup both find a way around him. In which case, Blossom would win by 1. Or, if Burn tries to end up passing Blossom, for whatever reason, I can think of a reason why he would try, because he's competitive, and even though it still says winner, he wants to be the complete winner. So as you'll see right here, he'll probably want to pass her anyway. And if he messes this up and wrecks his car, he will get probably no points. And therefore Blossom will definitely win the championship. By like 6 or 7 or 8. Or at most 9. So I imagine he'll get like 10th, even if he spun. Assuming his car could continue, he would probably pass a few cars in the remaining like 8 minutes of the race. More than that, probably like 9 minutes. Alex is not too far away. Bubbles about to possibly change that as she's gained 5 positions and a lot of front end damage in 1 lap. Buttercup has also gained 5 places and slightly less damage in one lap, but is still fighting for those places, whereas Bubbles is kind of comfortably sitting in 4th right now. You can see them, they're right there. Bubbles is within distance of something. Definitely on Aleks within the next lap or two. By lap or two I mean, well, not the end of this lap. So within the next lap I imagine Bubbles would be around Aleks. Nice lap time. Shadow permanent slight damage as well. No DNFs. Almost disappointing in that regard, but at the same time also probably a good thing. So they happened early on, we would have no way of actually seeing them. Bubbles is gaining on Aleks, as I would probably hope she would be doing. Is she gaining on her sisters, though? That is the more crucial question. Her sister, rather. Just confused, didn't show split time for me. I was like, what? No, just because I got passed across the line by XT3. Buttercup has some way to go. About 6 seconds separate her and the leader of Blossom. And also several cars, such as Sonic, who is no longer an obstacle, however, Shadow is. And also she would have to technically pass Aleks, and I guess technically Bubbles, and even Burn, for that matter, if she were to get to Blossom, which would just be a jerk move if either of them passed Blossom, because that would just end it prematurely. I mean, she could beat her sisters and beat Burn by 3 places, then she still wins the championship. If one of her sisters passes her, then that kind of spoils it, don't you think? I don't think it'll happen anyway. Bubbles has evident pace. As you can see, she's just doing this to Aleks, which is not hard, which is not easy to do. I was gonna say not hard. It's not easy to battle Aleks, really, regardless of circumstance. Even if Aleks is in like a very average car, relatively speaking, he can still do a lot. Same with Vert and 16 Angels and So Fast. Easily the 4 greatest drivers, I think. I would personally say the 4 best drivers: 16 Angels, Aleks, So Fast, and Vert. As far as like raw skill and talent comes into play. I want to say 5th would be that. It's kind of hard to count him as an official driver, though, considering he did spend majority of the series as an unseen object rather than a racer. He only recently became a part of the plot as Slingshot, which I still refer to as that, just because it's the name I'm used to. All these midlife crises that all these characters are going through with their midlife identity crises that all these characters are going through as more information is discovered about them. Like, it's not Raceman, it's Track T, but I will still call him Raceman. It's not that, it's Slingshot, but I'll still call him that because I'm used to the name. Oh yeah, I already mentioned, I think, that I already showed the Bubbles past Aleks. Buttercup would be next to do so. Can she do it in time is the more pressing matter, and personally I would say the answer is a stern no. You can just faintly hear Shadow's car there for a moment. Burn still cannot find the power to get around Blossom. Speeds of hitting on the straight. Bubbles with the fastest lap, despite the damage to her car, which I recently found doesn't actually slow the car down that much as long as it's just fairing panels. If it becomes suspension damage or anything like that, then yeah, it does slow them down, but otherwise, it really doesn't. Buttercup's yellow damage doesn't really affect her any more or less than Bubbles' red front bumper, and that doesn't make either one much slower, or faster for that matter, than Blossom with a completely untouched car. Perhaps Burn is actually taking this intelligently, and isn't aggressing upon Blossom, knowing that all he needs to do is remain in the top 4 and he wins. And given 4th is currently over 4 seconds away, probably closer to 5 by this point in time, and even though Buttercup is a looming threat, she is another 2-3 seconds away from who is currently 4th, and therefore not really a threat. Also, that and Sonic are fighting, and it looks like they haven't really parted ways since the start of the race. I hadn't even taken notice of this. I've also re-overtaken XT3. Maybe I just passed him, and that's what caused the timing and screwing glitch there. Bubbles is now, with halfway through the lap done, Bubbles is now effectively in striking distance of Burn. Alex has mostly lost the plot, but given circumstance, he's not that far away. Also, Sonic manages to sneak into 6th place. The top 6 in the race will actually be the top 6 in the championship. And this idea disgusts me. Especially so if Burn manages to get around Blossom, then it'll literally be an exact copy of those results. Well, it does make a tiny bit of a difference. So I have to wonder if maybe Bubbles would be at his bumper already if that damage, wasn't there. If it just magically disappeared. Or furthermore, too, if she would be on her bumper. If the collision that caused the damage also hadn't happened, how much closer she would be by this point then. Time is very running short here. Most of this next 40 seconds will be spent at very low speeds, and therefore not really much opportunity to get around someone. So I think these are your results, unless Burn does something desperate and messes it up, or if he succeeds. I don't think this can change. He does nothing. So, Bubbles is of course right there, but would need a 4th lap to even try to deal with Burn. And that 4th lap has not been provided, so it will appear as though Blossom will win the final race of Universe Zero. However, despite this, because of the points difference, I do believe Burn will actually win the championship, the final championship of Act 20 here in Universe Zero. Bubbles will come in 3rd, and the Powerpuff Girls, all of them in the top 5. Shadow will come in 6th place, and we had no DNFs in the final round, so everyone, even Danny with his battered rear bumper, and Falcon with apparently the real worst car, everyone will come home mildly satisfied with this result. And Carbon, crucially, got righteously smacked down upon in this final event. He's been effectively defeated here, to say the least. Think before you drive, folks. And indeed, by 3 points, Burn is your victor. Because this is really only going to be a 15-minute video, right now, I'm kind of build a repro. What? Come on. Retrospective into this. Make it fewer laps. I don't want that. I don't think I'll use all the races up, even though they're short races. So here's an older Formula 1 car that I'm sitting in, the 98T, which was from 1986, I believe. Famous for being the driver that race car driver Ayrton Senna, I do believe, crashed and met his demise in at the racetrack of Imola in this year. I should remember right. Maybe it was later than that. It might have been. Might have been like 90. I don't remember. I wasn't alive. I know that for a very well fact. I don't think I was alive for another 10 years or so by the time that he died. And I could look it up, but I really don't see the point. It's not relevant when he died. I just know that he died and he drove this car. Whether he died while driving it, I don't know. Part of me does kind of feel like if he did die driving this car, the car wouldn't appear in video games, but at the same time, that could also be precisely why it appears in so many video games. Because it has, like, a history to it. So you can see the raw power of this vehicle. I'll drive it for like 30 seconds and then skip to the race and initiate discussion. I actually got my racing number on this livery. I hadn't even noticed that it was 19 when I selected this. Oh, we're dead! Okay. That's enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. So allow me to first elaborate on the different characters. Or no, well, let me actually, before we even start the race. So of course, this has been one hell of a show. And again, we're not done yet, either. Just a matter of, this is the end of the canonical storyline, and anything else we do after this is just bonus. You have good old, Professor Utonium in this car, who of course canonically couldn't have shown up because of the fact that he is dead in this storyline. He was murdered by Mojo Jojo while the girls are defeating Lord Fuse in the Fusion Fall time zone, or time span. He succeeded and come home to find the professor, well, not alive. Thank you, Captain Obvious. That is what dead means. Yes, of course, I got this idea from just kind of watching all the series. I did a couple of things on this game similar to this, where I would just name the AI drivers and watch them race. Sometimes watching them with a buddy of mine named Tyler, who the Duke driver in this race is a reference to. And you may have seen him in the character list of Time Loop. Main reason for that being he's a self-insert, but just like me, he will actually be driving the car. That number 58 McLaren that he has is a vehicle he has selected. But he will also be playing the role of other characters and driving in character as them. So You know, example, I put him in Gearhead's car. He drives like Gearhead would, aggressively, egotistically, and just overall frustrating to deal with. And then I would also, therefore, at the same time, take the role of whatever, or take the personality of whatever character I am playing as at the time. So we have intense racing action going on. I don't remember who's even driving that 311. I'm trying to not even look at the... I'm just trying to look at Duke's car. Good job, Tyler. He's not even a big Corvette fan. This is just a running gag. He once called the Corvette GT3 the Camaro, and I never let him go. I never let that go. Actually, looking at the leaderboard, that might just be that in that car. Alex has stormed away, by the way. Granted, this is the car he couldn't even use in the last championship. This is the car he used in the last championship, but these cars are much slower than that. There's no Lamborghini Gallardo or 570S's here, so Alex has free reign to dominate one more time here in Universe Zero. But anyway, so yeah, and I'm like, you know, I can name the AI after Hot Wheels characters. There's a few cars I can theme after them. You know, red car, Ferrari is known for being red and for being successful. Alex is known for driving red cars and being successful. Burn Lamborghini has this dark blue car. It's really aggressive looking. Power Pipes has been a shade of blue in literally every game. What in the hell that? What is this thing? Get that out of here! Golly! Car from hell! Like a go-kart on steroids over here. There's 4 characters in this race that didn't make it ever into the series, and I already explained because of the fact of being dead that Professor Utonium couldn't show up, but I figured he deserved a kind of a nod, I guess, in a sense. Yeah, so I started the series, you know, I mentioned it to you, and sure enough, the fact that you kept watching it is honestly a big part of the reason why I persevered so much through it. I would have probably done 5 or 6 acts otherwise and just wrapped up that storyline there, but it took a continued interest in the unusual events that took place. I was like, you know what, I'll keep providing them, and we'll see where it goes. And now we're here with a second spin-off coming, with a third spin-off coming, a second spin-off already completed, and a 4th spin-off of that another spin-off of that spin-off coming hopefully not too long in the future, but I really never know. That whole capture card ordeal is still very much up in the air. That's kind of the point of Time Loop, is it's supposed to tie me over until that. So we go over the next other cars. Mega Man, Dr. Wily, oh, there were 5. I forgot Dr. Wily was even in here. So Mega Man, the main 2 reasons why not Mega Man. 1, I've never actually played a Mega Man game, and 2, because Mega Man's personality isn't really all that much of anything other than being a robot that has a gun. Same with Dr. Wily. Just an inferior Dr. Robotnik that hasn't been touched up on in, like, very much in the last few years. And, this is an interesting idea. So Roll, if you do not know, is actually like an assistant robot to Mega Man. Almost kind of playing the role of Gearhead, but much friendlier and cuter than Gearhead. Strangely enough, almost like Blossom in the sense, in some games, Roll is shown as like 6 years old, and then in other games, she's shown as like a teenager. She's like, I think it's like Mega Man 8, she's like 13. And barely even looks like a robot. Wonder why that could be, They dropped that immediately, and then, yeah, I just thought there would be kind of interesting counterpoint to some of the other little cute girls in here, or cutesy characters like Isabella and the Powerpuff Girls, all which are designed to be, you know, adorable little eye candy characters. Especially less so the Powerpuff Girls because they have purposes beyond that. But Isabella, not so much. Roll, also definitely not so much. And ironically enough, the other remaining character that's not appeared in the actual race is Sailor Moon. Again, only reason she didn't make it, two reasons rather. One, she didn't have much of a relation to any character here, or even any kind of plausible version of one. The closest thing being that the anime rendition of the Powerpuff Girls that ran in 06 was a Magical Girl anime, which was what Sailor Moon basically popularized in America. I don't know why I couldn't say that. It's kind of embarrassing. We have some characters that appeared very few times. Another shout out kind of being Thrasher here, but that Mustang is terrible. Clearly. I think it's spun or something. That lap time shouldn't be that much slower. No, he's just not very fast, I guess. Weird. The Mustang is... I don't drive Mustangs. And of course I put myself in this thing as well as that and Alex because I think these two are like the poster boys of the Hot Wheels series. Kind of the good versus bad, but at the same time a lot of characters kind of fulfill that role in this context, so it's really hard to... It's kind of hard to pin that on a specific character, so I also went with Alex kind of being like the original character besides Ryan Storm, who technically chronologically appeared first. So you had the cutscene before you started Jurassic Jam. Yes, so quick I said, the major reason Mega Man characters and Sailor Moon didn't get in, lack of knowledge of the character and lack of relatability to other used characters at the time. You know, the closest thing being that Mega Man 8 design of Roll looked a lot like the Fusion Fall design of Blossom, except for Roll's a blonde and Blossom's a redhead. You really gotta wait for Thrasher. You know, his whole minute behind spiel. So the main idea, because I do have a couple of other people who do follow these videos but don't comment on them. You guys know who you are. One commented on a couple of Twisted Metal videos, and that's the most interaction I got out of them. He wasn't that slow. He was just spun out somewhere in that race, because that's that lap time is a full minute faster than the original lap. Grid starts don't make a minute difference, they make like 5 seconds difference, so that was interesting. Still definitely slower than everyone else. Just 40 seconds a lap slower than that, so in like... in like 5 laps, that could have easily lapped Thrasher. But... So the idea was I planned on streaming like 5, 6, 7 race championships using any of the characters. You know, I need like 50 characters available, maybe a couple other ones too. And maybe even throwing in like inserts of the drivers or the characters or the people that know of the series besides just you, me, and a couple of other people like Tyler knows of the series. Thrasher isn't the person to play with, and he knows of the series but doesn't watch it much. Doesn't have terribly much free time. Tyler doesn't watch it, definitely knows of it, and I usually try to explain things to him anyway, and I kind of had to because he is going to be playing a role in Time Loop in some way, shape, and form. So yeah, you know, I thought I had more to talk about here, but most of it just kind of already been said. Like, that's definitely established a lot of what I have killed time, this series. Because then it's also brought about the Velocity War precursor and Time Loop, and the precursor will eventually lead to the real thing, but I don't know how long that'll take to happen. Do I go through all 5 races? No. Once I run out of things to talk about, I'll just let the race end, and that'll be it. Again, not really in the grid slot. So Phineas is the one in the crossbow. Why I did that, I don't know. Ask me from a couple of weeks ago. Because I couldn't tell you. To be perfectly honest. And there's not really much else to talk about. I might just have to watch this race, and then that'd be the end of it, because I don't have any other topics. Good job, Professor. And I saw Alex do the same thing. I guess characters, relationships between them as well. Just checking out. Must be that again. Yep. Madison, staying in second there. Duke hot on her heels. Probably wearing heels too, for that matter. Actually, no, not really. That is not how you do it. We'll try that again, Tyler? So anyway, now he's probably got her. Yeah. Corvette top speed is nutty. That or Madison's is not. Madison's is absolutely not. That's not Vert. Dr. Wiley, what are you doing? There's a wall there, and now your car is damaged. Gosh. Just affords Tyler all of the room he could ever potentially need. But yeah, so one thing I had idea was, you know, that streaming idea. And even with or without the self-inserts, those drivers, those people, could show up. The drivers, I call them drivers by accident because I play racing games with them like Gran Turismo Sport. Good job. Now you have more damage. Any more damage you want to add to the... Okay, yep, you do want to add more damage. And it's gonna pull an Alex now? Is that what's happening? Where is this on the track? I was like, if this is a ripoff of a real-life livery for the older Supras, which was sponsored by Castrol. This is like a a shameless ripoff of that. That's another thing too, when I don't know much about the character, it also makes it very hard to pick cars for them. I base this almost exclusively off the fact that Sailor Moon is a Japanese show, and she wore white. There's not even blue on the car, because she wore a white and blue and red, you know, schoolgirl outfit, because Japan is weird. And all of the, like, protagonists of those kind of shows always wore schoolgirl outfits. Not to mention, it's weird enough they have those uniforms in the first place. I don't know. I'm not going to question what Japan does. Because it's not even worth the time. You know, if you can't get over 20 miles an hour very easily, you'd think you would just go to the pits. Just pull the car off to the side and just quit quietly. Preferably before that catches you. But yeah, so those guys could show up and we'd like bet on the winning drivers of the championship and such, and just generally make fun of everything because there's plenty to be made fun of here, because it's just the crazy imagination of two random people over the internet who'd never even talk to each other, and even direct communication, let alone like physical contact. We don't even communicate directly, like we don't collaborate. I just make a spin-off of what you've already created and pretend like it's my own idea, when in reality it kinda isn't. I was kind of referring to the fact that Blossom and Roll look similar in like at one time. This is why Roll has Blossom's original car, this SLS. A far cry from the crossbow that Blossom was most notable for driving for the latter part of the series. Was that already finished? No, the leaderboard just shifted for some reason. Oh, because Tyler got passed, that's why I did that. I was like, there's no way he's already at the line. He's not that far ahead. It's an almighty gap. Oh my god. Alright, so this is why we never use this car, but it was part of a DLC pack and I never got to use it, so I'm like, we gotta put it somewhere. I didn't know it was this ridiculous. This thing is practically an F1 car. Yeah, that wins again. Can Alex sneak into second though? Not with that. No, he does, even with the damage. Yeah, I think I'm about out of conversation topics here. They never caught Wiley, which kind of shocked me. if I could go out there and drive and run him off the road just for the sake of it. Don't really know where he is. Oh, hi, Madison. I think I found him. That I'm really catching these opponents. No, I'm just really catching the opponents. Excuse me, excuse me. There's Carbon is also in his original car. I forgot to mention he was even in the race. Okay, that was Madison. I must have been caught on with someone else. Oh no. Okay, hello? Oh, I have unseen suspension damage or something. Oh yeah, well now I do. Oh, that's not how wheels... Oh, go! Yeah, that's not how wheels are supposed to look. Yeah, we're, like, dead. What is Wiley doing? Nothing. Is he even on the track still? He is. He's blocking someone. He's blocking, looks like... No, he's blocking the group I caught. Madison, Isabella, BRX7, myself. I don't know how I didn't think of that. It doesn't matter anyway. It didn't say the results, but really it doesn't matter. We're not actually here for the race. We're just here because of background sound effects, because I'm trying to talk, and I didn't really have much to talk about. So yeah, we've defeated Carbon, however. Carbon has gained some distance and associated himself with another, faceless evil to transport our characters once again to Project Cars 2 and Universe, I guess it'd be Universe Zero still, but my dog is dumb and is barking again, probably at nothing. His voice is gone because he barks too much. Stupid mutt. If it's anything, it's a deer. But I guarantee you it's not even a deer. Just my dog probably seen his own stupid shadow and barking at it because he has the brain capacity of a freaking TV screen. Not even that. That's insulting to TV screens. It is the friggin' brain capacity of a Nerf gun. All it does is shoot off, make a loud noise, and annoy anyone nearby. That's all it does. That's all that the dog is good for, too, half the time. So anyway, yeah, Universe Zero is officially over. And, in due time. Because I'm getting, candidly, a little sick of it. I'd like to actually drive now, which is kind of why Time Loop is working the way it is, because I easily could retire to the pit box, but then there's no way of even guaranteeing that any characters would be in the race. I could just, I guess, keep resetting until there is, but at that point, the AI in that game are so boring and so accurate that no one will ever even pass anyone if they're in the same class, let alone the same car. And therefore, it gets worse than Assetto Corsa AI, and sometimes they don't even do anything. Unless they're, like, forced to, or, you know, crazy stuff happens to where they feel like they can, otherwise they won't start anything themselves. And so, for Universe Zero, for the foreseeable future, this is goodbye.